There are some intriguing comments from former Liverpool captain Steven Gerrard this morning about the future of their manager Arne Slot. Gerrard told TalkSport, "I think the Fulham game is just as important. If the ownership sees that gap to Villa or United stretch, I worry for the manager's position. I don't want to see it happen. I'm a huge fan. I was blown away by his first season. He's a good man, a very good coach after what he's done. The key to the situation is the Fulham game," says Gerrard. He goes on to say, "If you can put more heat on Villa and United and stay in the PSG game, everything will be fine and in a better place in 6 days' time. If this was to get worse, I'd be worried for the manager, I must say." Charlie, if Liverpool are knocked out of the Champions League, is that enough for Arne Slot?
Then it all really does depend on the league position. It really does. The league form this year has been poor. It really has. It's not in that first season, like Steven Gerrard said, like a lot of Liverpool was blown away with what we'd seen. It's the way, if we get knocked out of the Champions League, it could be the way. If they're absolutely destroyed, then it will be an alarming sign, and maybe that's the domino effect that it could go, right, we're just making a change right now. But I think it's a very important time, and Steven Gerrard is right. If they do a poor performance tomorrow night and then don't get 3 points a weekend against a good Fulham side, there could be a few questions to answer.
And this lack of effort and the lack of effort that's been called out by Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah, I don't know where this... I don't know... I kind of know where it comes from. It's in the dressing room. That's frustration. That boils down to frustration from players in there. That's saying, listen, we are not pulling together as a group. And when certain scenarios go against us, we just give up. And by the looks of it at the weekend, we see they certainly did give up.
Yeah. Right, we'll be speaking to a Liverpool fan very, very shortly. But first, here's how you get involved in the Finalysis app. Scan the QR code here for more details. And someone who has done that is our Liverpool supporter, Connor Ray. Connor, good morning to you. Do you agree with Slot's comments and what Charlie was just talking about?
I do. Well, I agree that they've given up. I think it was clear to see at the weekend. It was a similar story to the rest of the season, right? We actually played all right the first 35, 40 minutes, conceded the first goal, and then that mentality problem reared its ugly head again. And we just, honestly, it looked like we gave up from when that first one went in. We've been questioning all season now where that mentality comes from, and is it coached? Is it the player? Is it the manager? But I'll be honest with you, regardless of where it's come from, it's got to stop now.
Yep, I'm going to give a small bit. I'm going to go to the second goal. Right, it was the second goal when Haaland scored fantastic movement for the goal right just before half time. The second half was non-starters. The second half, they just come out and just rolled over. They really did. And I don't really know where that's come in as we've got about that mentality side. But the knock-on effect of that is for one of Liverpool's most, say, important continuous player, how his performances have been, the Szoboszlai this year. I'm not a big fan of his reactions towards the fans. I get him to try and say that he wants a bit more from them. But he's done this a number of times now when Liverpool fans have quite rightly voiced their concerns about the team's performance.
Yeah, absolutely. That was an ugly thing to see from him at full time, and I think it comes off the back as well off a little bit of kind of recent international breaks as well. He's made a couple of comments about Real Madrid and stuff, and that transfer speculation started to pop up as well. And you just think it just, as you said right at the start of that, Charlie, it just points to a bit of a fractured dressing room for me. You've got players that are obviously not putting a shift in. And that relationship with the fans is reciprocal, right? The fans are watching you play that type of second half. Of course, you're not going to get anything back from them. That's how it goes. As the Anfield atmosphere this season, I'll be dead honest with you, Charlie, has been the worst I've ever known it. I've been going the game a long, long time, and it's linked to exactly that perceived lack of effort on the pitch, lack of changes, lack of results, lack of work ethic. It's you have to have something to cheer about first.
It is incredible, really, that you can go from what you did last season, isn't it, Connor, to what you're now seeing in these last few weeks. What is the general feeling amongst those Liverpool supporters on Arne Slot? And in what world does he stay next season?
I think Liverpool supporters en masse have given him loads and loads of time, to be honest. I know that sounds ridiculous given he won the league last season, so of course you give him loads of time and loads of credit. But I mean, the results this season, however, whichever way you spin it, whichever way you look at them, have not been good enough from sort of the first 4 weeks of the season. And after that, they've been on the decline ever since. And I think he's been afforded a lot of credit in terms of people waiting to see, can he change it? What will he change? Will he do things differently? What will that look like? And we haven't seen it. And we're now fighting for our lives with 5, 6, 7 games of the season left to go. and it's looking pretty bleak for him. I've got to be honest. I think fans' patience has run out.
Connor, if you judge him over the 2 years, right, which is probably what the board were thinking when they first gave him the job in the first place, and no one backed you at all to win the Premier League last season. There wasn't a single pundit who thought that you'd be in the top two, and there you are winning the Premier League. If he does get you in the Champions League, all right, you don't win the Champions League, but he gets you in the top five over those 2 seasons, guaranteed Champions League qualification and winning the Premier League. Does that not justify him staying for a third season?
That'd be the argument, and you're absolutely right. I think that's what the ownership model will be looking at, and rightly so. We've seen the damage that short-term decisions can make in football. For me, qualifying for the Champions League this season is the absolute bare minimum, and the fact that we're struggling with it with a few games to go is a poor position to be in, however you want to look at it. If, as you say, it gets to the end of the season, he's got Champions League football, and they're able to have a look at it in the summer, then I would hope the owners will go to him and say, look, you had one good year, one bad year, time to improve things.
So look, both of you are Liverpool fans. I'm going to offer you this scenario. You go out of the Champions League to PSG in the next 10 days, and I have got Xabi Alonso in front of me, and I said he's ready to go, guys. Are you taking him?
So this is something that has come up a lot for me recently, and I think back in November when things were really bad, November, December time, I'd have said yes, the snapped your hand off for Xabi Alonso. And I think for what it gives you in terms of that boost in the players, getting them working again and things like that, I can see why everybody's now moving towards a manager change. And I'll be honest, I've been firmly in that camp for a long time. But I think there is a bit of a tendency at the moment for Liverpool fans to expect that Alonso will be like the next Klopp. We're not going to get another Klopp. He's not going to come around for a while. And whoever we do bring in, unless you're bringing in a Luis Enrique, a Carlo Ancelotti, which isn't going to happen, then you've got to be able to give a manager time. I think we've given Slot time this season and he hasn't done it. So now would Alonso coming in provide that boost to the players, and would that be a good thing? Yes. Would it necessarily be successful long term? I don't know. It's still a risk. So I'm not sure.
I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you on it, Connor. I think the scary thing is also we're missing a point of it. With Arne Slot coming in, we give him all the credits last year. Imagine if the roles reversed. He was battling to get in the top five and make Champions League last season, but then this year performed and went and won the league like they did. We'd be like, oh my God, he's amazing. He turned it around perfect. But he hasn't, and because of the drop-off's been so big, that's why I feel like all the pressure is on him. And I almost feel like Liverpool. This sounds strange saying it, but I think this is why I picked so many to keep and sell, was because I feel like Liverpool are in a position now where they're almost on a rebuild.
Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? I think you become a victim of your own success. I think I've said all season, it's what's happened to Mo Salah this season as well. He's been a victim of his own success. He's had one poor season, and it's been a poor season, don't get me wrong, but now everybody wants him gone and he's going. Yeah, you're absolutely right. If it had been the other way around, we'd be talking very differently about it. But that's football, isn't it? And results haven't been good enough this season, and there's no other way to spin it. Gerrard's right in what he said.
Connor, let's look at Charlie's keep or sell list, shall we? I don't know if you saw this in the last hour, but we picked 10, and obviously, you haven't got Salah on there because we know he's going. This is just 10 names that we thought might, be a tough call, some of them. Do you agree with this? It's down the middle, 5-5?
Yeah, let's see. So, yeah, I haven't seen this. So, Alisson definitely, I think we'd be daft to sell him. And Mamardashvili's proven he's not quite up to it yet this season. I'd be sad to see Joe Gomez go, but yeah, I think he's had a good run at Liverpool. He's a good squad player, but that's about it. I'd like to see who we'd replace him with. Van Dijk definitely keep. Konate, I mean, it changes week to week for Konate, right, on the performances this season. I'll base it on his last game because that's all we can go off this season and say sell him for nothing. Andy Robertson, I'd like to keep, but that's just the sentimentalist in me. I think he's served his time and he deserves to go and see his career out wherever he wants. I think I'd keep Frimpong. I think he's still got stuff to prove in a Liverpool shirt. I don't think one season hampered by injuries enough to judge him. McAllister, I might disagree with based on this season. Depends who you replace him with. We go and replace him with a Camavinga or a Tchouaméni or something, then potentially sell him and look at that. Gravenberch definitely keep. Curtis Jones I would also keep, although I know that some fans don't share that opinion. And Gakpo, yes, I'd have sold.
Hold on, you think Camavinga's coming to Anfield in the Europa League?
That's fair question.
Connor, on that, this is the difference. This is how important this is. Whether it's keeping Slot to the end of the season, getting in that top 4, top 5, winning the Champions League. This is what happens this summer, and this is a different transfer targets where you're going to have to convince people to come to Liverpool if they don't have Champions League football. So to get players like that in, it is a demand that Liverpool get Champions League.
Yeah, absolutely, without a doubt. That's what I said earlier. Like, Champions League is the absolute bare minimum. I'm not even entertaining the thought that we don't get it. That's the terrifying prospect. And to say the fact that we're in a position where we might not is falling way short of expectations. And I don't expect the manager to keep his job if we don't qualify for the Champions League.
Connor, I completely get it that all the Liverpool fans absolutely adore Virgil van Dijk, and he's been an incredible captain and servant for that football club. But Konate's getting a lot of stick this season. Van Dijk's performances, have they dipped? Because you went straight away, keep him. But, you know, he's going the wrong way in terms of age. Do you think another season with him at the back is the right way forward? I mean, Charlie wants to sign Mickey van der Ven long term.
I mean, I'm with Charlie in terms of bringing someone else in, whether Mickey van der Ven's right or whether it's someone else. And again, that depends on that Champions League place, doesn't it? I think having him around is important, not just for what he can still offer on the pitch, because when he's at his best, he's still one of the best defenders in the world. There's no doubt in that. Yes, his performances have dipped this season. I think he'd be the first to say that as well. And it's clear he is on the other side of the mountain now, on the decline. But it's about who we're bringing alongside him. More so, I think having his voice in the dressing room will be invaluable. We've seen so many leaders go from this team already. Bringing
someone in alongside, that is massive and that is important. And you're saying having him around. But when Virgil van Dijk's at Liverpool and at a football club, he is starting. It's not him. It's not him being around in his voice. Yeah, that carries weight. Of course it does. But if you've got him at your football club, he is playing left side centre half for you, isn't he? And I understand the performances we say haven't been up to scratch of what we've seen of many years, and he's on the other side of the mountain coming down. But he is so vital to Liverpool Football Club.
Absolutely, 100% agree with that. Yeah, he's got to be. I mean, he's club captain. He should be starting every game if he can. I think there's a conversation to be had that, you know, if we are in the Champions League next season and we're looking at 60-game season again, can he play 3 times in a week? That might be a conversation he has with the management, and purely from a fitness point of view rather than an ability point of view. You're absolutely right. When he's available, he should be playing, and that's when you're looking at, what do you bring in a Van der Ven or a quicker centre back? We've got Jeremy Jackett coming in, who's got a good amount of pace himself, you know, to help Van Dijk out a little bit as well, where Konate perhaps hasn't at times this season.
Just quickly, as we say goodbye to you, massive 6 days, PSG wrapped around Fulham. How many of those 3 games are you winning?
Oh God. Fulham and I've no idea what happens.
And going out the Champions League?
I think so. Yeah, I think we will go. I'm sorry, I do.
Connor.